remember I was with a surgeon quite early in the process who was speaking to a lady she's in her mid-40s, and she suffered from rhinitis. And when he explained to her how limited her options were going forward, and clearly if she was at the ENT, she would have considered herself quite severe. And the limited options caused her to break down. She was upset. This was the best she could be.
What are the options?
At that time, there are some surgical options for obstruction, none for which is your inability to breathe. But for rhinorrhea or runny nose, there weren't options. So it's drugs. All right, and she's there because the drugs weren't working. But if we rewind back the clock to 1958, believe it or not, there was a solution for this. And this came out during the process. So it was a surgeon in Dr. Golding Wood in the UK, believe it or not, had found a link between a deep set cranial nerve called the Vidian nerve and this inflammatory process in the nose. So when he went in and sectioned that nerve, and granted 1958 didn't have the same sort of ability to access those places with less risk than you do now. But the upside for that patient was very obvious. So what we looked at was, can we take that Vidian nerve? Can we find an interruption point in the nose rather than in the base of the skull? And ablate it, or,
So what were they doing in 1950 to get that nerve? I mean, physically.
Not going through the nose. Right, so they're going through the temple, going through the hard palate in the mouth, different access points in through the cheek. But that probably speaks more to the need that was there. If patients are willing to do that, undergo that. So as we got into sort of more modern surgical techniques, you still have side effects from that surgery. You were most likely going to get dry eye. Pretty much all cases got dry eye because the downstream impact of impacting that nerve was impacting the lacrimal nerve, which stimulated the lacrimal gland, which creates tears, which keeps your eyes moist.
That's interesting,
So you were swapping out the drugs or sprays for your nose that weren't working for eye drops because you were going to have dry eye. So again, spoke to desperation. People just wanted a solution.
Yeah.
So we take that whole theory and stand on the shoulders of that success and say, can we just bring it downstream a bit more, where we don't have that the unintended consequences like a dry eye, then patients should surely look to this as a really good solution.